Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is Laughing Games here. I'm back with another StarCraft 2 1 vs 1 replay cast. I am excited for this one. We've got ourselves a Terran versus Zerg on the map King's Cove here. And spawning down the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing for Team MKers, it's Soul. Hope I'm pronouncing that team name right. Yeah, joined them just fairly recently, I suppose, was Iron Chain. But then they rebranded to this different team name. And then spawning up in the top left-hand side of the map, I think it's been a while since I've cast him. It's Infinity Gaming's Denver. Denver, a very good French Zerg player, shows a lot of promise, improving a lot lately. And yeah, that's why I think it should be a great match. Both these guys, very good straight-up players here. Arguably not some of the most well-known names as far as like household StarCraft 2 pro names go, but they're both incredibly good players, high up on the ladder, playing hard, and sometimes show fantastic games. And I heard that this was going to be a fantastic one. When even one of the pros is saying how it's going to be a good game, you say, all right, I got to check this out. But here we are. So Soul, the Polish Terran player, just opening up standard here. Just getting up his barracks, single gas on the way, so very standard TVZ opening. And same goes for Denver. So these two guys showing a lot of respect to each other here. But we'll see if the game's going to diversify there. The minute 25 GLHFs going out. Both these guys busy with their opening. You guys ever do that? Sometimes when you play a game of StarCraft 2, you're like, wait a second, neither of us have GLHF. So you check your chat logs and you're like, huh, guess that is the case, you know? But anyway, we'll see how these two guys are going to play this one. Denver, I believe he's known to do a bit of aggression, so maybe we'll see something like a Nidus or whatever, or say some Roach play or something, but he does play pretty much all the styles I know. As I said, it's been a while since I cast him. I think the last time I probably cast him was one of those show matches that I did. I believe it was the Poland versus France, which was a fantastic show match, by the way, guys. If you haven't checked that out, you gotta check that out. You're missing something there. But here we are. Ling speed on the way for Denver. The few Lings on the way. Very standard openings here, guys. Nothing out of the ordinary. And then there's that 2-minute 30-ish hatchery going down. Gotta get a bit more minerals, and then I'll throw it down. Let's see, how close was I? 1 second. 2 minutes and what? 30... 35. 34. Okay, so it was 4 seconds off calling that hatchery time. Anyway, I mean, yeah, very standard opening here, guys. Soul, though, his first Reapers just blazing on out of there, just heading across the map towards Denver. Soul did an SCV scout, so playing it a little bit risky, sending that Reaper right across the map. But that's why he's got a Marine on the way right behind this. And then, yeah, he's got a Reactor out already on that factory, producing some Hellions. This Reaper gonna be diving on in, poking this Queen a little bit. Can't take a Queen on in a head-on fight, so he's got to back on out of there. Finds that third base, sees that's going on in there. And alright, let's have a look here. Hellions on the way for Soul still. He's getting up his Starport Tech Lab on the way, so this is a very standard build for Terran. The fact that Soul is making an extra Marine here is interesting. Okay, he actually cancels. Yeah, I was wondering, is he going to throw down an armory? There it is. Yeah, because that's you generally make the extra Marines when you're going to add a Medivac, so Soul actually changes and sort of baits Denver out a little bit. He's going for a very strong direct attack, and we'll see if Denver is going to be prepared for this, because this is going to be a Hellbat attack. Soul trying his best to keep Denver in the dark here, but Denver does seem to sniff this out. He's got a Baneling Nest on the way, a fair few Lings on the way, and interestingly enough, he hasn't started a Spore, despite him seeing what could be potential Banshee tech. So very good timing and game sense coming out of Denver. Maybe he'll build some in a minute here, but for now, just cool as a cucumber here. He's made his Lings. We'll see if he makes some Banelings. And there we go, 5 Banelings on the way. So Denver reading this incredibly well. He even comes on in with his Overlord to confirm that this is not the case. Those Marines are out of position to shoot that down. Soul's going for broke here, but I mean, yeah, he may just be in a fair bit of trouble. There's 5 Queens at the top of this ramp. Baneling's in position. Soul may just even want to skedaddle out of here. Like, there's diminishing returns on an attack like this. He could throw things at Denver, but there's no guarantee he'd find anything. So yeah, Soul, a very respectful decision. Backs on out of here. Just trying to pick off an Overlord here. And yeah, very respectful choice from Soul, making a mature decision, being like, okay, I'm not going to get anything done. That sucks, but you know what sucks more? Losing all of my stuff. And so he's doing something about that. But you know what really sucks for a Terran? Having Lings get into your natural. Soul does have 2 Hellions tucked away behind those minerals, so he's able to clean up these Lings. That was a little bit concerning. I didn't see those Hellions at first, guys, but Soul is prepared for that. Doesn't want to lose one of those Hellions. Good micro, keeps him alive. And yeah, Soul just continuously producing these Hellions here. No third base until just now is a big tell for Soul, the way that he's playing this game. Like, Terran, you generally want your third bases a little bit quicker than this. Soul committed to that armory, to that Hellbat initial attack, but then he still delayed that command center a fair bit after, and he's actually just going to be going for what looks like the mother of all Hellbat Banshee attacks. He's got the Marines, he's got the Hellions, he's doing a bit of a mixed bag here. Oh, some Banelings connect with the Hellions. You got to be careful there, Soul. These Hellions were trying to get shots off on the Banelings as the Hellbats push forward. Soul's got to be careful. Those Banelings rolling forward. He's kiting back with the Hellions, wants to absorb all those Banelings, cleans up a fair few of them. But I'm not sure he still has enough to make anything happen with this very creative attack from Soul. Autobots rolling on out here as the Hellbats are now marching towards that mineral. And as this is going on, though, a counterattack from Denver. Soul's got the wall up, though, so he's safe in that regard. Hellbats trying to get what they can, but so far it looks like Denver is going to be absolutely A-okay here. No major losses. A very creative follow-up to the attack for Soul, but he did not get a lot done there. Okay, those 2 Banshees are still alive here, just doing their own thing. Denver, relentless, trying to get these counterattacks. So far, Soul has been generally immune to them, but everything considered, this is not a comfortable spot for the Terran player. The Zerg, he defended your attacks with relative ease. Denver didn't really lose any drones. He didn't lose a single drone, so he had the perfect amount of defense there. Soul's coming in with this Banshee now, but there's a Spore, 2 Queens, and an Overseer, so not going to find anything done with that. He's going into Bio behind this. Look at this, Denver throwing away a few Lings on that wall. Soul's getting up a 4th command center, so he's making a bold statement. And, yeah, Soul's making a bold statement here that he's just like, yeah, I'll throw up a 4th command center, no biggie. I'm going to macro this one out. Denver, as this is going on, he's getting up a Spire. He's had room to breathe, so he's able to invest in that tech freely. And getting Burrow as well. Oh, we could be seeing some Ling Bane, Burrowed Bane Muta here, which is a very lethal composition. Look at this, Denver throws his Overseer, but not long for this world. Okay, we're only 8 minutes into this game, and I feel like a lot has already happened. Soul going in with those attacks. And yeah, let's have a look here. 1-1 on the way for both players. Relatively even, though, so no major upsets there. Terran and Zerg upgrades take the same amount of time to complete. And look at this. They're like literally within seconds of each other. A second of each other. That's insane. Now, here we see Denver trying to get on in here with those Lings. Finds a 4 Marine, maybe an SCV or something. Nope. He is throwing away a few Lings here and there, testing the waters of Soul. He's lost a fair few going for those attacks on the wall and stuff. So far, Soul, good defense. Soul getting up turrets. He doesn't know that a Spire's on the way, I believe, but he's preparing for it. He's got a general sense of things. He's got turrets up. Turrets by his E-base, so important. And Denver, though, as this game's going on, just making a lot more Lings, getting his 2-2 Infestation Pit on the way. We could be in this for the long haul. What I love to see from Soul here already is the fact that he's just taken his 4th base. This is something that I make a mistake of as a Terran. I'll get an extra command center, and I'll just not land it. Whereas Soul, he's landing this right away. It can seem a little bit daunting moving out, securing your 4th base, even if you feel you don't have that much. But it's definitely a worthwhile investment here for Soul. Stepping out, securing that base, it will pay off dividends if he can hold on to that position. And once it's a planetary, should be relatively easy to defend. But Denver's actually just going for it, engaging into Soul. He's got to back out, though. He's being very mobile with this Zerg style. We've got 2-2 on the way for both players. Soul's a little bit ahead of Denver's, but just an absolutely minor amount. And Soul has got up this 4th command center here, so just playing a very nice game as the Terran player. However, Denver, though, he's got a lot of breathing room this game. He's had a fair bit of breathing room this game. He did invest into a style which requires a bit more finesse, dare I say. The Mutas and the Banelings, it feels like it's a lot easier for something to go wrong than opposed to playing something like Hydraling Bane or something like that. So you got to be careful with the Mutas as Denver. He's sharking around. He's got 12 Mutas so far. He's getting up to a Hive, so that's where some of his investment is going on. Muta's picking off a Widowmine here. They're going to find this turret, but that will shoot them away. Turret and a Widowmine, nicely done for Soul. Is Denver going to try and grab that Widowmine? Oh, that mine. Oh, Trader Mine hits that Overseer. Well, I guess it's not really a Trader. It's just doing its job there. Missile turrets working away on those Mutas. They actually killed off 1 or 2, so nicely done. Those turrets paying for themselves there. As this game's going on, though, this is where it can become a little bit dicey for Soul. Actually getting some of his bio caught. That's a fair bit of a mistake there. That's going to hurt. He gets on in there. Oh, look at that. Soul tries to get out, save those guys, but they go down with the ship there. Widowmine shooting at one of the Mutas there. So Soul, I mean, he's been sitting back, which isn't a comfortable feeling versus Zerg. It could be a little bit concerning for him. The fact that Denver already has his 3-3 on the way before Soul does. The fact that there's an Ultra Cavern on the way. That there's a Hive up. So Denver is going to be going into these Ultras behind this. Soul is throwing up extra command centers, which is... It's a late game style, guys. Soul's doing this. He's just accepting that he's got to go into the late game versus Denver. And this is a very interesting meta development here. For those of you guys that might not watch all the StarCraft 2 or whatever, in the past years, it's generally been Terran tries to kill the Zerg later on kill the Zerg and never wants them to get the late game if possible. But so far, Terrans have been getting a little bit more comfortable with that lately. A little bit more comfortable with the late game styles. They're embracing it. And Soul is someone who's really been doing it for a while. I actually asked him about this. I was like, so how well does it really work going late game versus Zerg? Just as he was streaming on Twitch, and he said, you know, it's actually it works, and it's probably gonna stay viable, which I think is a pretty bold statement. But I'm really curious to see how well this is gonna go versus Denver, because generally in these situations, it's considered a pretty good spot for Zerg. Denver, he's getting up extra bases, doing a good job in that front. Both these players over 80 workers, both of them pretty much maxed out. Soul, though, he's investing heavily into his economy. He's not doing this thing in which he gets like 4 bases and is like, okay, let's start trying to hammer into this Zerg. No, he's investing in so much tech and everything behind this. He's got a good Marauder count, cleaning up some creep here. Marauders will be very useful for dealing with those Ultralisks. And Anabolic Synthesis on the way for Denver, so those Ultras will be a little bit harder for Soul to kite. But he is getting up into a Ghost Academy, getting up a Fusion Core. Most likely for Liberators. I doubt we'll see Battle Cruisers. I mean, late game's a little bit more common for Terran these days, but Battle Cruisers, not so much. We'll have to wait a little bit longer for that, I guess. Here comes in these Mutas trying to pick off a turret. Might be able to cancel a command center or something. Maybe get a tank. Looks like Denver getting the tank and the missile turret. Finding a nice bit of damage here and there. Soul's got a very big economy at this point, so he can absorb a few losses like this. Oh, Vikings, though, could be going down. Trying to bait Denver into those Widow Mines. The Vikings stay alive. Oh, Trader Mine does kill a Viking there. Another Widow Mine gets picked off. So far, Denver just using the tools that he has as this game is going on. And what a fantastic Terran versus Zerg here. I mean, this one could get explosive here, guys, as this game is just going on and on. Soul investing into Vikings, getting ready for what seems to be like potential Brood Lords on the way. He's even getting armor here, which will help out his Thors, help out pretty much everything for the Terran that's not bio. I mean, it makes your Medivac stronger, it makes your Thors stronger, your Vikings stronger, it makes your tanks stronger, it makes, yeah, just your Widowmine stronger. It's a very helpful just upgrade to go for. And let's see, personal cloaking on the way here for those ghosts. And yeah, here we are. Neural Parasite on the way here for Denver. Okay, there we go. First nuke on the way, guys. And I think about this every game. Every game before I cast what could be a late game TVZ. Whenever a nuke's getting built, I think, right, I'm going to watch that nuke so I don't get crucified in the YouTube comments. Denver coming on in here with Lings. Soul was basically walling that off. Oh, actually, the Lings get through. They kill off a few ghosts here, so Denver getting a nice bit of damage done. They're killed off a command center, a couple of ghosts, a few tanks as well. Nicely done. Looks like he'll find another ghost. That guy needs to cloak. There he goes, finally. But a nice bit of damage for Denver. Soul was completely walling that off. I wouldn't be surprised if he was planning on making that like a planetary or something. which would just be like, yeah, I'm shutting this down. No one's getting in. So he's going to rebuild that. And we'll see if he does make that a planetary. Defensive planetaries are very real. As this game has been going on, the Sol is powering up. He's starting to hit that very strong Terran production, which is, it's a very bold statement, a Terran investing in this kind of production. Being like, yeah, late game it is. More Ghost Academies on the way, so we are going to be seeing some nukes here. And the first nuke is building for Sol. Let's just take a look here. No, he actually already has one done. And I saw a Ghost move out on the map, which is a Ghost never has a good intent for a Zerg player. These mutas being a massive pain, though, they do deny those Ghost Academies from building. Sol trying to get up 3. Denver says, uh-oh, we've got Kim Jong-un here, or whatever, throwing up a bunch of nuke tech, but Marauders running around, those Ultras chasing them. So a lot of little things going on in this game. Sol is sitting back for now, but he's got a very good economy behind this. These two players, they're heading into what's a pretty even game. Look at this for Denver, 117 larva as a Zerg player. You know what he could build? If he gets a bank big enough, he can build anything that he wants. He can make a ton of Zerglings, he can make a ton of whatever over and over again. Just keeping those injects rolling, maxing out those hatcheries. I believe it's 12 larvae per hatchery, or it's definitely more than 12 there. That's what, oh god, math. It's more than that, because that's an odd number. It's definitely not an odd number. How much larvae here? I don't know. How much larvae can a hatchery have? Anyway, there's the first nuke going down. I said I gotta pay attention to these. One of those ghosts goes down, making my observing life easier. But there we go. Here comes in that nuke. Where is it? Where is it? There it goes. It comes on in. A Liberator getting some harassment going on over here. That nuke didn't get the most connections in the world there so far for Denver, but I don't think that's the only nuke he's going to have to dodge this game. Liberator getting a nice bit of damage done. Also spots the Greater Spire, so Sol knows the timing on that. Ghost trying to run away. Ling is pursuing him. He's got to turn around. You can take that Zergling, but no, he goes down. That Queen and Ling just slew a Ghost. They're getting their accolades there. We'll see if Sol's going to start calling in more nukes. He's up to, what, 6 Ghost Academies at this point. So that's 6 nukes at a time. Sol has the ability to launch a lot of money and a lot of damage at his opponents if he so chooses to do so. Nukes are a bit of a double-edged sword in that sense of how much they cost. Another Liberator moving on out. Going to be found. Ooh, might have actually betrayed his Ghost friend here if Denver spotted that Ghost. And, oh, did he? A nuke's getting called on in, but I don't think this Ghost is going to have a good time. Overseers, yeah, there we go. They turn around. That nuke's going on in. A Liberator getting set on up. So Sol throwing a lot of harassment at his opponent here. A Liberator going to be working away on some of these drones. Queen comes on in, tries to step on this. Liberator picking off more and more of these drones. There's another nuke going down. Can we spot it? No. Okay, there it goes. We caught the tail end of that one. So far, Denver's been doing a fantastic job shutting down these nukes, though. All it takes is one good nuke, so that Ghost, he's going to get a few drones and so much larva. That counts as kills for the Ghost, right? So 26 kills there. And let's see, a Liberator harassment trying to go down. Sol just throwing things at his opponent here. He's just keeping this good economy going. And he's like, yeah, I got a lot of command centers. I got a lot of income. Let's just throw everything I can at you and see what's going to stick. And he's playing this confident late game style, which is very exciting. And here we see more nukes getting ready 4 at a time. Just Sol's got that mad money to do it. There we go. There's the Guardian Planetary. Lings are going to try and get run by Zin, but they're not going to find a lot. Sol raises those depots. And very good defensive position here from Sol on King's Cove. There goes another nuke. Which depot was it from? There we go. There's the tail end of another nuke. Man, those pro observers for like WCS and stuff, they're always catching the nukes as they go off. But the problem is Sol has so many Ghost Academies, I don't know which one it's coming from. Oh, there we go, there's one! If we just watch the Ghost Academies. Okay, let's see. This nuke, a little bit farther off the base, just going to clear out some static defense and creep. This poor Overseer doesn't stand a chance. Pop. Everything explodes. Meanwhile, Sol pushing into his opponent here. Lots of Ghosts. How many Ghosts here for Sol? 17 currently. That is no small investment. Let's take a look at the army value. Army value Sol is still behind that of Denver, but it's still a very, very serious Terran army. Denver as this has been going on, he's just got a good infested count. I'd like to maybe see a few Vipers or something to deal with the Vikings. 1 or 2 Vipers you can't go wrong with. A nuke is getting called on in here. Spine repositions to deal with this. Some Spores eat it there. This Ghost does need to reposition, though, if Soul's being careful. Yeah, this Ghost, he's trying to fight a Spine Crawler, but that's not a fight you want to take, buddy. Soul moves up here. Gonna queue up another nuke, I bet. There he goes, because he's Soul. Putting in zoning nukes, gonna force a cancel, maybe, or just kill this Ghost here. Soul cancels that nuke, lands an EMP there. I'm trying to keep up, guys, I really am. Oh, that nuke there, it looks like it did get off and it fried up a few drones. I think that Ghost also went down. Here's a nuke. Okay, I'm trying to keep up, guys. This game already has a lot of nukes in it, I feel. Let's see, another nuke going down there, killing off more and more drones. Denver's having a tough time keeping up. He's eating them. I'm having a tough time keeping up, watching them. A nuke lands, another gets called on in there. 4 nukes on made at a time for Soul here, pardon me. Oh god, I'm getting tongue-tied. This game here. Marauders still just kiting around, picking off creep. Very important to keep up to those little things. Meanwhile, these 4 mutas, pardon me, being a pain, harassing Soul's command center. Soul just trying to take all the bases he can. Liberator harassment, changing it up, shutting down this mining for Denver. Denver's got a very serious bank. Soul's Ghost got to hightail it out of there. Ultras are in pursuit. Snipes going down, pops off one of the Ultras. Nicely done there. Just dropped that Ultralisk. Liberator going to be getting cleaned on up. See a nuke in the left-hand side of the map. Soul calls it right next to a Spore Crawler. He doesn't care. The army of Denver's a little out of position. Is it going to get off? I don't think so. I think this Ghost a little bit ambitious there. Gets cleaned on up. And those Ghosts are not free for Soul, but he's still playing pretty cost-efficient. Ultra's rolling on in here. Soul's going to have to lift some command centers if he wants to keep those alive. Ultra's standing in a Liberator zone. This Liberator's got his work cut out for him, but Soul keeps it alive, and Soul steps forward with the Bio, and Thor is able to clean this up. Doesn't want to overcommit here. Infestor's stepping forward, getting some fungal off. Marauders and Thors, though, pretty tanky versus that fungal growth. And let's have a look. What else is going on here? Ultras come back on in. They don't give a darn about that Liberator. They just walk right by this Planetary. He's in trouble here. I mean, being hugged by 5 Ultras is never a good thing. Ultras are going down this. That was a fair bit of a commitment for Denver to kill off 1 Planetary. Soul just floats over another command center. So, yeah, it's all about efficiency in this game. Ling's trying to get a run by on this Planetary. I mean, they're Adrenal Gland Lings, but as long as some units are dropped to repair, Mules dropped to repair, are they going to repair? Doesn't matter. Planetary is fine anyway. And Soul, look at this Marauder drop. I believe he might have shut down a base here, cleaning up some static defense. He's keeping the pressure on Denver. And look at the bank for the Terran players. Soul just dropping Mules for days with a very serious income. For the past little while, has been able to build up a massive bank here. Marauders engaging Queens. They're a little bit overcommitted there, so those units are going to go down all as this is going on. Soul trying to get a Ghost across the map here. Liberator getting set on up right over a Spore Crawler. Not going to get a whole heck of a lot done. Goes down. But Soul, he comes on in. He cancels this base. Once again, he's got more Liberators flying around here, just keeping the pressure on Denver. Denver's got a very big bank, so it's not the end of the world if he loses a few drones, but things can quickly get out of hand in a crazy game like this. Now, here we see Ghosts just marching around still. There goes off another nuke. I don't know how many nukes are at. Somehow Soul snuck a Ghost into the main base of Denver, calling in this nuke. Barely mining base here. It's going to kill, what, 2 drones and an Overlord? Okay, some gas geysers that were mined out. Nothing too major there, but then calling in a nuke on the main base. Those changelings are messing with me, being red on the map, but these Liberators still being a pain here for his opponent. And more Liberators getting set on him. Look at that. Denver took over Soul's Liberators with the Infestors. That nuke in the main base goes off, killed those Queens. Another one being called in on this Greater Spire. I mean, if he got the Greater Spire, that would be nice. Oh, that Ghost does go down, though. No nuke landing there. Liberator here, though, still being a pain. Finally going to be getting cleaned up. That Advanced Ballistics make those units a big pain for the Zerg player to deal with. Soul calling in or building more and more nukes here. Okay, Liberator's on the way. Soul just continuous with his production, playing this late game TVZ, just hitting Denver all over here. And here goes in that Ghost, once again using that high ground. No spores and spines up there, so Denver has to send something over to deal with this. Looks like he will be able to deal with this bit of harassment. Liberator and the Ghost will go down, so nicely done for Denver. And let's see, yeah. So Soul just trying to get all this harassment to stick. All things considered, it's a fairly even game here, guys. Just within about 1,000 resources lost of each other, which is very close. Army cost still higher for Denver here. Soul, though, he's sending in SCVs now, wants that bigger army. He's got a very big bank, so you sacrifice your workers so that you can get more of a bank there. Meanwhile, Ghost just running across the map. Marauders poking and prodding, cleaning up some creep, just trying to pull Denver's attention away from everywhere. Nuke gets called on in. That Ghost needs to move himself a little bit. Calls in another nuke, cancels that nuke, just casually tossing 100 away. Soul doesn't care. He's got a big bank. More nukes getting called in. These Ghosts look like they're going to be getting cleaned on up. Soul really trying to make these nukes stick. It looks like Denver cancels that hatchery. The Ghost just eats the nuke there. Soul trying to call in another nuke, but no, he knows this Ghost is done for. Another nuke going off there. Another nuke being attempted to call in. And Soul's got Ghost trying to land some snipes or EMPs. Lands a few EMPs, some snipes, but it does cost him Ghosts here. Trying to keep this pressure going. This game is crazy. Soul has taken the base that Denver was trying to mine from on the left side, and this is how Terran makes this style work. It looks like Vikings are trying to engage on in here. Liberator's picking off some of the infestors. Vikings are hurting, though. Liberator's cleaning everything on up, and Soul also calling in nukes, and this is where Denver decides to counterattack. There's a lot of Lings and Ultras coming on in here, even a few Queens into the mix. This one Liberator has his work cut out for him, working away on these Lings. There we go, a lot more Liberators coming in. We'll see if Denver moves out of position. No, he's actually going to retreat here. These Ultras running out. Lings cleaned up a command center or two there, but so far, good defense there from Soul. More nukes being called in. Double nuke at a time on the high ground. On the high ground. That Ghost will be clean on up. This one will land his nuke, but not going to find a lot there. Bit of larva. Nothing too major. And yeah, so far, we see Soul just, he's just mining from Denver's side of the map here. Let's see. Oh, few Ghosts actually get caught. Yeah, I was wondering about those guys. Misrallied there. So a nice pick off for Denver. Soul's bank is actually decreasing here, but Denver's income has really been hurt. He's mining no gas, really. There we go, getting that back up. Getting that back on track. Income-wise, Soul mining much more gas. And we'll see. The thing is, these Terrans sometimes aren't the most efficient. Soul has lost more resources than Denver, but if we look at the way he's positioned onto the map here, he's taken base. Soul has his share of bases. He's taken every base he could possibly need, whereas Denver hasn't taken his. Denver. Okay, let's see. This Liberator comes on in, by the way. Yep, just getting more harassment off. As I was saying, Denver, he hasn't mined from this base at all, really, and he's not taken this base anytime soon, it would seem. So there's a potential Soul may be able to take those bases, and that would make up for the inefficiency of him throwing away more resources, and that seems to be what makes these Terran styles work. That's how Innovation has done it versus Sterile and such, how other great Terrans have made this style work. So far, though, Denver, if he can just keep doing what he's doing and prevent Soul from taking these bases, in the long run, he will be sitting pretty. He's got to keep dodging these nukes, though, which is never an easy thing. This one's going to get a fair bit of static defense there. A nice hit there. These Ghosts just raining nukes for days. I don't know how many have been called on in here, but it's a lot, guys. Nuke gets called on in Spore Crawler. Setting on up, just walks forward to be nuked from the scene of things. Broodlord stepping forward. A snipe goes down on one of the Broodlords. Nuke goes down. That poor Spore Crawler receives it directly. Here goes in another nuke being called on in. I'm trying to catch all the nukes, guys. I'm trying my hardest here, but it's just not happening. I'm just trying to catch them all, but, you know, they're Pokemon. They're just everywhere. Soul, just gonna try and nuke this base to death, it would seem. There goes another nuke. More and more nukes for days. He's just been producing them. Seems that the magic number of Ghost Academies for Soul is 6, just to constantly have a nuke at the ready, constantly have another one firing. This nuke's gonna hit a fair bit of static defense here too. Denver not pulling that away. Kills off the base. Nicely done there. And here goes in another nuke. Looks like this base is actually gonna go down to nuking too. Death by nuking. Oh, there we go. Base goes down. Queen wanders forward into these Liberators. So Soul getting some nice nukes going off here now. Still behind in the resources lost, but we see Soul, oh, look at this, even trying to nuke this. He wants that Greater Spire and Ultra Cavern, but not going to get it. Anyway, as I was saying, Soul trying to keep his economy going because he knows he's being kind of inefficient here. Trying to get a command center over here to the right-hand side. He needs to clean up that creep first. Once he does that, that would be very good for him. We still see these guys just doing their little dance here. Denver with a very impressive bank. 12,000 minerals, 5,000 gas. Sold down on the minerals, but with a very good gas income. But as I was saying, Soul, he floated over a command center because he wants to mine as much as he can on this map. He's trying to take this base here. He's just bullying Denver in a way that will allow him to do so. Vikings now coming forward, pulling Denver back. There was a nuke that was called on in, but that's going down. Vikings are pretty committed on in here. Infested Terrans working away on them. So Soul losing a lot of Vikings right now. Ghosts actually got bundled. They're dropping snipes on these Broodlords, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. A ton of EMPs are going down. These Thors are buffering for the Ghosts, but it looks like they will be going down here. So Denver gets some nice pickoffs there. A fair bit of a trade going down there. That costs Soul a fair bit there. Liberators getting set on up, just setting up on these Infestors. This could actually be huge here. Snipes going down on a ton of the Infestors, so that's really hurting Denver. The Broodlords and Corruptors do come on in though, pushing these units back once again. Soul really trying it on here onto Denver, but here comes in the Corruptors. They're now picking off some Liberators. Nicely done. As this is going on, Denver getting some nice link counter harassment. Nuke being called onto this base to the north. Denver not having an easy time mining here, but getting some good counter damage going on. There goes that nuke. That base almost done. The Ghost, you gonna pop that off? There we go. He's gonna pop that off. He might have sacrificed himself. Yeah, that Ghost going down. A lot's going down in this game right now. So far, Soul really bullying Denver here. Resources lost, though. Let's take a look at it, guys. Soul, he's down 10,000 resources lost. We saw those fights he was taking. They were not efficient fights. It's in a head-to-head engagement. It's generally a Terran who's not going to be efficient when you're throwing away this many Ghosts, this many nukes and such. So Soul really needs to take over this extra base here if he's going to keep this game going. That is going to be the linchpin for Soul here to keep this game going. He needs to scan. He needs to clean up this creep. Denver's sort of been ignoring this command center that's been flying over his creep here, but he's not going to be able to ignore it for long if he's thinking the long term for this game. Soul drastically needs to secure one of these bases because while he's pretty much secured all of his bases, look at this, he's starting to mine on out. His bank is not going to last forever, and so he needs a new base. That's the bottom line. If he's going to overcome this deficit he's found himself in, he needs to clean up this creep, which he's doing. He needs to secure this base, so he's probably going to want to repositioning everything that he can. And the second that Soul can land this command center, we want to see him dropping mules for days. And Denver, he's the Zerg player. This is how Zergs have been losing to this Terran style, by giving up these bases, so he needs to prevent Soul from taking this base. It is incredibly urgent that he does so, and with all of his Infestors, his Broodlords, and his Corruptors, he needs to be able to make that happen. He needs to push Soul back. He's pressuring this base, or never mind, just an Overlord flying on over. But yeah, Soul, look at this. He's going to be able to land this base in a second here. And Denver, oh, he's setting up outside this base, but he can't let Soul take this base because this is going to give Soul an unequal share of the bases on the map, and that's going to allow him to justify this extreme expenditure he's got here. And there we go, Soul rolls in, Liberator is getting set on up. This is so important for Soul here, it can't be understated right now. More nukes being called on in here, this poor base, where I guess that Ghost already died, but then here's one on the front line. Spore Crawler's going to be going down here. They got to waddle away. Oh, that nuke doesn't kill off any, so Soul just throwing these nukes left and right. I don't know how many nukes have been used this game, but it is a lot. Here comes in this Liberator going to be getting set on up. And let's see. Okay, here comes in another nuke. There we go. Here comes in Soul. He's pressuring with this bio. Actually nabs up a ton of these Infestors. This is absolutely huge. They try and burrow away, but Soul runs on in with a fair bit of bio. Picks off a good chunk of those Infestors. Will cost him most of this bio. Denver, sort of in a rage, throws down all of those spells there to catch that bio, but that did hurt. A fantastic pickoff for Soul there. And calling in more nukes here. But look at this, Soul, he's got this base. The mules are starting to drop. He's just mining this hard already. He's mining the gas, which is so important as well here. And look at this. This is how Terrans have been making this style work. They just... Soul, at the start of this game, he's set up with this great economy here. He's been bullying Denver, who has been playing, what I believe is the correct way to try and deal with this style. He was trading more efficiently up until this point, but then Soul gets this extra base and it doesn't matter. So Denver had been doing a lot right for the longest time, but the fact that he allowed Soul to secure this base, I feel, is a massive mistake from the Zerg player. And look at this, Nuke's even going down on this base. Denver isn't still mining, really. He's got a big bank, but he's going to be running out of minerals to mine soon. He's just been abused so long by Soul. And the fact that he allowed Soul to come on in and get set up and take this base, I don't know if it's doable for Zerg players to stop Soul just rolling in and stealing this base here, but it's important that you at least try, right? Because this is so good for Soul. And more and more nukes going down. He's just bullying. He's just nuking for days. He's just spending all of his money on nukes, keeping his opponent back. Lands an EMP on some of the infestors. The ghost does go down though. But nuking this base to the top again. Picks off that hatchery. Gonna maybe, oh, that ghost will go down there, but still getting the hatchery. Very nice. And who knows, maybe Soul's even gonna be able to take this base to the north. The fact that he did this cannot be overstated as the importance of this style, because resources lost. Soul still behind. Behind by a ton, as a matter of fact, but it's fine because he's got all these extra resources from this base. Broodlord stepping forward for Denver. He wants to poke. It's an antsy feeling having someone else mining from your bases. It is not a good feeling. Denver's like, hey, that's mine, guy. Looks like those broodlings trying to get that ghost. The spore crawlers gave the detection, so that nuke gets canceled. Denver picking off a lot of these units here, getting some nice trades. Infestors gonna clean up a lot of this bio. Some of the infestors get picked off there, but a lot of medivacs going down. So Denver still in the little engagements here. He's taken more efficiency, but Soul's justifying it here, and he's just launching nukes for days. I don't know how many nukes we're on, guys, but you can sure bet that I'm gonna be putting that one out there as how many nukes have gone down this game, because this is Soul playing this late game TVZ style, and it is fantastic to watch. He's just playing it very well. He's doing what he needs to do. I feel like Denver's response has been pretty good, except for taking this base here, except for letting Soul take this base here, because this is just putting so much more gas in the tank that is Soul. And let's see, yeah, now Soul just continuously mining with a much higher income than Denver. Spore Crawlers moving forward, they're inching forward. Broodlords, Corruptors set on up. There's a good Viking count starting to build up for Soul, so he's thinking of trying to deal with those Broodlords and Corruptors. So we might want to see 1 or 2 Vipers here. There's 1 Viper for Denver. He might want another 1 or 2 if he can squeeze that out. Here we see Broodlords calling in Broodlings. They get the ghost nicely done. Those Broodlords, pardon me, on their first shot. They actually deal a fair bit of damage there compared to just the Broodlings' passive attack. Infestor goes down there, but look at this. Broodlords go forward. Doesn't take too many shots to pick off a ghost, so that's a nice trade there for Denver. But look at this, Soul pushing forward, really bullying his opponent. I'm just casually not paying attention as more and more nukes are getting dropped here. We'll see if Soul can prevent, or if Denver can prevent that nuke. Catches a couple of those ghosts. Got to be careful though. More and more nukes getting called on in. A lot of ghosts have been dying this game. That nuke is gonna land. Oh, it hits a lot of that static defense. Ghosts have been going down left and right this game though. Soul has lost 58 ghosts, and I'm willing to bet there's been around something like 58 nukes, maybe even more going down. Soul calling in more and more, playing this late game TVZ style. Denver though, he's got these spellcasters, he's got up a Viper even, which will help deal with these Vikings if it comes to a head-on-head engagement. But look at this, Soul still mining this base. Denver has not been able to shut it down. And Denver not even mining his base to the top right. Soul has just been relentless with shutting it down. Here we see Broodlord's gonna want to kill off this ghost once again. Gotta be careful. That nuke. Oh, this is getting dicey. Denver actually decides to back off instead of trying to pick that off. Just retreats with everything. Soul pushing Denver back once again. Denver's been doing a good job, I feel, cleaning everything else up here, but Oh man, these Marauders just getting a fantastic surround right now. Oh, here comes in a Ghost for Soul. Looks like he's aiming for an EMP. Hits a couple of the Infestors, but doesn't get a lot. Nuke's going down on the right side of this base. Soul nuking this base for days. Denver has not been able to mine a lot off this location. And when his bank runs dry, that's really going to hurt him. Here comes in Lings. They're going to be able to pick off this Ghost. The base is still just barely alive. Soul just needs to tap that with like a Marine or a Marauder or something. But so far, just nukes for days. There goes another one. 6 nukes building at a time, guys. I bet if we sit here and watch some of these Ghost Academies, we're going to see a nuke go off. Keeping an eye on the minimap to make sure nothing else is going on. Where is it? One of these is going to pop off any second now. Any second. Where is it? I'm going to look away and then it's going to go. There's a Ghost somewhere here on the minimap. Anyway, okay. I guess Soul having a break from nuking for a minute. But let's see, there's scans going down. Vikings stepping forward. Soul, look at the banks, guys. Look at the banks. This is all because of this base. Soul would have been out of money, or mainly out of money already. He's pretty much out of gas on all of his other bases except this location. So he's still got that income going for him. He's dropping more nukes. There goes one of them finally. And look at this. Soul just bullying Denver here. And he's still got a fair bit of money to go on this base, whereas Denver's bank, it's pretty much done increasing, guys. Like, he's not mining from this base to the top right. Soul has shut that down relentlessly. And as a result, Denver, it's like he's just bleeding out and dying here. He's going for some Lings to try and pick off some static defense here. He could get those missile turrets and such. He could get a lot of missile turrets, actually, with a couple of Lings. But for now, of course, he is busy with the ever-encroaching Soul. Soul building more command centers. Looks like he's going to want to take even another base from Denver. And so far, Denver hasn't been able to do anything about this. Broodlord stepping forward. Vikings, though, they move forward, try and pop off. And look at that. Nuke picks off a creep tumor, gonna allow Soul to push in further. Turrets and everything going on up. And Soul just playing this game beautifully here. And it's just hurting for Denver because look at this. Efficiency-wise, Soul is very far behind, but here he's getting some snipes off. Yeah, snipes picks off a Broodlord, but still it's just, he's got this extra base and he's building more command centers. He's gonna take that at Denver. I don't think it's gonna work on out. We're now 42 minutes into the game and every bit of money is starting to matter at this point. Denver wants to push forward. Even if he can take this base, it might be a little bit too late because Soul's mineral bank has surpassed that of Denver. Here we see some Vipers moving forward. There we go, some Abducts going up on Liberators. That's a nice win there for Denver. He keeps getting those little wins though. But look at this, Denver knows that Soul's trying to take this base now. That's just not a good feeling for the Zerg. And there's nothing he's been able to do about it. He's just been getting bullied back and back. Soul playing this style excellently. We're now past that 42-minute mark, so the clock has ticked over here. Another nuke getting called on in. There's another nuke. Let's see, can we catch it? Oh, we missed that one. Okay, we're going to catch one of these nukes before the game ends. Because I get the feeling there's going to be more of this base. It's going to be under fire. The Ling's in the wrong spot, though, to stop this nuke, so those drones have to run once more. Oh, so many of them going down there. More nukes being called on in. I'm trying to catch these nukes, but guys, you gotta be really quick on the draw, and I'm trying to catch everything here. Don't worry, there'll be another nuke. We'll get the next one. Okay, there goes the nuke. SCVs run on into the nuke, but look at this. Soul, he's secured this base to this side. The nukes have just been a constant zoning tool. Denver's just sitting back and waiting for death, it feels like. He's moving forward with the Broodlords, but Soul with the perfect amount of Vikings, the perfect amount of Ghosts. There's a nuke, there's a nuke. There it is, there's that nuke going up. Okay, but here we are. Here comes in this these Broodlords, gonna try and shut down this Ghost, but the Vikings gonna zone him away. Ghost stepping forward, sniping those Broodlords. The Terran players are just getting the hang of this, just sitting back, just forcing the Zerg to make mistakes. And while Soul's still being the much less efficient player, he can more than afford it right now. Marines and Marauders going down. Denver, I mean, there's a chance that if he just plays ridiculously efficient, he can accept that Soul has mined a lot more than him this game at this point due to these extra bases, but oh man. Okay, here we go. This is great for Denver. If he can shut down this planetary, that is actually very important. Broodlords deal a lot of damage here. They're going to be getting away on that, and they do pick off the planetary. Lots of Broodlings coming on forward as well. Picking off turrets and such here. Oh, infested Terran going down. Those Vikings Gotta be careful there. So nice move there by Denver to shut that base down, because there's still a lot of money up for grabs in this location, and it's a high point of contention between these two. More nukes going down, though. Soul just loving this map, loving using these cliffs here. That ghost goes down. Soul tried to save it. Didn't happen there, though. And let's have a look here. Infested Terran picking off SCVs and stuff. But the question is, what does Denver need to do here? Does he need to counterattack more? Like, if he sends some Lings in here, he could pick off like a lot of static defense. That would be a small win, I guess. For now, though, he's just so busy sitting back here trying to deal with this army. We see Denver, he's not even building any more units because nothing that he builds is really going to help him. But I love this. A ton of infested Terrans going down for Denver, working away on tons of these Liberators, picking off a good chunk of them, actually, just for energy. I think he did lose some Infestors there. Looks like some Bios stepping forward here. Ling's going to try and engage that. The Infestors do got to get in there, or the Broodlords, to try and help clean this up. The Ling's doing the best they can, but I think the Bios just narrowly going to win on out there. And Soul, he has secured this base once again. Gonna start dropping mules on it, taking money right out of Denver's pocket. Those Broodlords are moving north to secure this, but oh, look at this Bio. They're gonna shut down this base of Denver. They will pay for it with their life, but oh man. Here we go, a nuke gets called on in here for Denver, or for Soul, pardon me. Yeah, it's for Denver. It's a gift from Soul. Snipes going down on some of these Broodlords. They're getting popped off. Looks like that Ghost does go down there, but so far Soul doing what he needs to do. Denver's bank is increasing. Soul's still increasing here. Liberator's getting set on up, and it's just a slow death here, guys. I'm just commentating the slow death of Denver. It's just rough for him, man. He needs to shut down this base in the top right again. He needs to dislodge Soul, but Soul is so dug in here. Let's see, Broodlord stepping forward. They want to shut down this Ghost. Here they go. They need to pick off that Ghost. A few Broodlings going in, but not able to prevent this nuke, so this nuke's going to land the static defenses to skedaddle. Stays alive. Good reaction for Denver, but he needs to, like, shut down this base to the right immediately. Denver with pretty much no income at this point. What you see is what you get. Oh, those Infestors walking forward into the Liberators. I'm loving this, guys, and what Soul's doing, the fact that we've seen Terrans do this so much and it's working versus Zerg, it's like, all right, this is to be given a try versus more Terrans gotta try this style, I feel. We'll see if Zergs can maybe shut it down, because once again, if Denver can prevent these extra planetaries, Soul just dug himself into a hole. Soul is relying on these extra bases 100%. He's lost 15,000 more resources lost, but he's mined a lot more than Denver here. Ghost steps forward. That's a pretty ambitious Ghost. I feel as if Denver should be able to pick that one off. Yes, he manages to make that happen. Infestors stepping forward. Okay, let's see. Broodlord's moving north. Lots of Broodlings gonna work away on those refineries, picking that off pretty much instantly. Working away on this planetary. We'll see. I mean, is there any... There is no Vipers left, so no parasitic bombs on all of these Vikings or anything. Soul even still just making good amounts of bio. Like, Denver's dead, guys. There's no talking about it. Like, I can fast forward here. There's going to be a lot more nukes. There's going to be a lot more everything. Look at that. Oh, fantastic fungal growth going down there, catching some of the bio. But we've seen Denver. He keeps taking these good engagements and such. He's stepping forward, tosses a fungal growth down. He's going for a big engagement. Denver has had enough. He's just making it happen right now. We see, yeah, a lot of those Vikings are going down, so maybe he's going to be able to make it happen. But, hey, let's see. Okay, yeah, Broodlords managed to step forward. Denver, he's just lost so much. He made 9 more Corruptors, but he doesn't have a bank. Soul's got a bank. He can remake everything. He can keep this train rolling, and we are just seeing the result of the way Soul has played out this game. Denver's just, he's a dead nerd, guys. He's got a good standing army still, but Soul can just trade out even more horribly efficient at this point than he already has been. Like, there's no joke. Soul has been horribly inefficient. And he's down 20,000 resources, but he's mined a hell of a lot more than Denver here. And he's still got that income going. He should be mining off this base here. Not able to secure this base for long. That's why as soon as you take a base as a Terran, you got to be able to drop those. Denver mining a little bit more here. Let's see. Okay, yeah. I mean, Denver, he did take a pretty good engagement there, but he's got a good chunk of gas still. He's out of minerals. Soul's economy has dropped off, so Soul has been horribly inefficient. I still feel like he's got this one right, but Denver is taking this base to the top right, so if he can get this going, if he can get this income going, this is a big deal. There we go. He's pushing out and taking it finally. Soul desperately wants to prevent this now. Soul's like, wait a second, that's your base, but that was supposed to be my base, so Denver taking this base is huge, but oh, look at this. Ghost step forward, fantastic EMPs. Denver is out of energy on his Infestors, and Soul's actually just going for it now. He's engaging right on in here. The Corruptors, the Infestors, so many snipes going down on all the Broodlords. Soul says enough is enough. You just open yourself up. The Infestors are useless here, and Denver is dropping. There we go. Soul drops the Needles. He closes it out. There was a slight glimmer of hope there at the end for Denver, but Soul, fantastic EMPs, takes that game. And okay, guys, that was a crazy game. That was 50 minutes of crazy TVZ. Denver, it's just he let Soul take those bases. It comes back down to it. I mean, Soul, look at that. Resources lost twice. He lost a lot more than Denver. I keep hammering on that because that's basically what is the make or break point for this matchup at the moment. Anyway, if you stayed to the end of this cast, that means I like to think that you like this video. So you know what that means? Leave a like on this video. Let's see if we can get a like for every single nuke that Soul launched. I feel as if that's pretty ambitious, but you know, let's see. I'll put that into the title there. How many nukes that was? It was a ton of nukes there, and fantastically played by Soul. Just playing this style, making it seem very, very viable here. And the reason why Terrans are trying this style more, I still feel like Zergs are figuring out this style. They're not used to Terrans going so late game, so I'm curious to see how much more this is going to really develop here. But anyway, yeah, if you stayed to the end, you listened to all that crazy cast, me talking to myself pretty much for an hour, make sure to leave a like. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, as I'm always casting awesome games like this, guys. I'll just boast. Yeah, we cast good StarCraft here, so I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.